A very good evening to all of you, and a very warm welcome to this special session that we are conducting today. ISB Indian School of Business is one of the most premier B school in Asia when it comes to the MBA degree or any other post graduation programs. So ISB's innovative programs, outstanding faculty, and thought leadership strive to develop such great leaders. It has its campuses in Hyderabad and Mohali. I think you all must be aware of that. So, to help you with whatever queries you may have with respect to how a campus life at B School look like, or to know about the journey of an ISB student, here we have current student from ISB, Farzan. Hi, Farzan.
Hi, Kanika. Hello, everyone.
Hi. So, like, he is pursuing PGP at the Indian School of Business after graduating from NIT Nagpur with a BTech in Chemical Engineering in 2019. So, he has cracked it and is there to help you guys. So, let's hear from the horse's mouth. The floor is open to you. So, up to you, Farzan. We really appreciate it and would like to introduce yourself and share your journey with us. So let's get started with your introduction. Welcome to this session once again.
Thank you, Kanika. So I'll give a brief introduction about me. I graduated from NIT Nagpur, as Kanika said, with a BTech in Chemical Engineering. And post that, I worked for 2 years in strategy consulting with GEP Consulting. And then another 1 year as a product manager in GEP itself. So it was, I think, 1 year into my job that I decided to do an MBA. I gave CAT, SAT, GMAT, and all the various exams that you must be appearing for. And it was when I was finishing my second year at job, I got into ISB as an early entry option. So basically, an early entry option, you have to finish the whole 2 years and then join. I was short by a month, so I had to wait 1 more year before I can start my MBA. So in that 1 year, I decided to move to product management within GP, and I did that. Apart from GMAT and ISB, I was also SAT All India topper in 2021 and a 99.3 percentile in CAT.
Super. Thank you so much for such a lovely introduction, Farzan. And since you are a topper and you have given so many exams, this might be very informative session for the students who have joined in, and they will definitely get the answers to their queries. So guys, I welcome you all to this session, and we are waiting for your queries under Q&A tab. Please make the most out of the Q&A tab and started posting your questions, whatever you want to ask. Farzan, I'm sorry. So, Farzan, before we start, I would just like you to just share something about your college, the ins and out of ISB, and what are the hidden facts about ISB. I think many students wanted to know.
Right. Ins and outs, I think ISB was the first college to start the 1 year program, and then I think IIMs followed. And ISB works on the same model that your European colleges work on, right? It's a 1 year degree and where you require at least 2 years of work experience to start the program. And it focuses a lot more on diversity and a lot more on overall excellence and not just focus on GMAT or maybe the way IIMs are focused on CAT scores, right? So if you have a lower 10 score or 12 score or even an average GMAT score, but in other ways you stand out as a candidate, they will take you in. When it comes to diversity, I have a colonel from the army as my batchmate, one IPS officer as my batchmate, one ISRO scientist as my batchmate. So you can see the kind of people we interact with on a daily basis, and the average work experience at ISB is at around 4.5 years, with lowest being 2 years and I think maximum being even 14 to 15 years, right? So ISB is all about peer-to-peer learning, where they bring a bunch of really smart people together, give them one of the best infrastructure in the country, and then provides us with one of the best professors in the world. So ISB was founded by London Business School and Kellogg School of Management. So both of these are Ivy League colleges, and our professors also travel from there. So our visiting faculties are mostly traveling in from there. And the hidden facts, right? So hidden fact is a lot of people really feel that a high GMAT score is required to get into ISB, but that's not really the case. I mean, as long as your profile stands out and you have achieved, if there was something you were really passionate about in life and you have done really great at it, ISB will definitely give you a chance.
That's a great information being shared. I think some of them might not be aware about the hidden facts. And obviously, related to this, how is life at ISB for a PGP student and after ISB PGP as well? So, if you compare with those IM activities.
Right. So it's a 1 year program, right? So a lot of things are cramped into that 1 year, and you actually end up doing a lot more things than you would do in a 2 year MBA. So things are very fast paced, both in terms of academics and extracurricular activities. ISB treats you like an adult. So there are no restrictions whatsoever within the college or within the hostels. You are free to move around, and life within ISB is what I would say a glimpse of what life would be after it, right? So you are working most of the time. You are collaborating with other people on assignments and in your study groups. Uh, so my day starts at around 8 a.m. 9 a.m. depending on the classes that you have, and we never have more than 2 classes in a day. So one class is 2 hours. So basically 4 hours goes into lectures, and that is probably the easiest part of ISB. Those 4 hours. The real struggle starts after that, because every classes then have a bunch of pre-reads. You have to read a lot of case studies and articles and go to those classes to be really prepared for the classes. And you have a lot of assignments to do. So we have classes from Monday to Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday there are no classes, but those last 3 days of the week are the worst, because you actually end up doing so many assignments that by the time Monday comes, you're happy about Monday coming. So expect to work a lot, expect to grind a lot, but that actually prepares you for the corporate life, for the worst of corporate life.
That's actually the real fact of life. If you are
Right.
grinded before, now you will get the results after that.
Definitely.
Definitely, yes. Okay, we have a question from Khushi Agarwal. She's saying, does ISB requires work experience? Is it mandate? As you just shared something about the work experience before as well, but is it mandate?
Right. So to start the program, you need at least 24 months of work experience. But to apply to ISB, you can do it while in your second last or last year of undergraduate, as well as while you are working and have less than 2 years of work experience. So they have 3 modes of entry. One is Young Leadership Program, where you get an admit into ISB while you're in your undergrad, but then you have to graduate, work for 2 years, and then start your MBA. Second is early entry option, the way I got into ISB. So you're working, you have less than 2 years of work experience, but you can apply, get in. You have a short seat. Then you complete your work experience, and then you can go and work at study at ISB. And third is a normal PGP route. If you have more than 2 years of work experience, then you can get through that.
Okay, I hope Khushi, you might have got your answer now. And what's the exam cutoff for ISB?
So as I said, right, there is no set cutoff. The average GMAT for my batch was 720, but I know people who got in even with as low as 660, and there are people with as high as 780. So it totally depends on a profile. I think GMAT has somewhere around 20 to 25% weightage. Rest is your profile and the essays you write and the interview that you give. So it boils down to your profile and how you stand out as a candidate, and less about the marks.
Okay, it's all bifurcated, but the most primary section is about the profile that is being looked at.
Right.
Okay.
And when I say profile, not in the IIM sense that your 10th, 12th and graduation marks. When I say profile, it can either be you started up something and you failed 3, 4 times in a startup, but you have a lot of learnings about it, or you were into NDA and went through the army route, or something different, something that stands out, something that makes you an interesting person. So profile from that angle.
Okay. And from academics point of view, what is the difference between IM and ISB?
So within ISB, our curriculum is very fast paced. It's not linked to the government or any board in India. It's not accredited by the government. So the curriculum evolves really fast. So I have been in touch with my friends who are at IIMs, and the case studies that they're learning are still 10, 15 years old. Meanwhile, we in one of our finance classes, we just studied about the acquisition of Twitter by Elon Musk. So things are that recent and evolves really fast compared to IIMs. And second thing is, obviously it's a 1 year course and you do the same amount of coursework that IIMs do in 2 years. We do it here in 1 year. So that also sort of makes it very hectic, very difficult, but again, builds up the basics for when you go out and start working.
Okay, and this is a very general question, generic question by Vanshika. How to become a perfect businessman?
How to become a perfect businessman? I
Yeah.
think the answer lies in what GMAT and CAT teaches us, right? So if you look at it section by section, verbal teaches you to read consistently, understand written material really well. So one is obviously read a lot, right? Maybe it's about business or about psychology, sociology, anything. You have to be knowledgeable, you have to understand the world around you, and reading helps. Second is your basic mathematics, your arithmetic. So you need not be a calculus master to be a good businessman, but you need to know your percentages and ratios really well. So second definitely becomes your basic arithmetic, and third is logical thinking. So whether you want to get into consulting or any other job, or most of my interview preparation went around really breaking down bigger problems into smaller chunks and then solving those smaller chunks to find the answer. So logical thinking becomes really important. So if you master these three things, sooner or later you start understanding business and become a really good businessman or a woman.
Yeah, great. You have really highlighted very important points. So, Vanshika, I think it will be useful for you. Just think over all these points and go ahead. And I think you can succeed. So, Ruchi Paliwal, if you are traveling, don't worry. You will get this recording. It will be posted on YouTube very soon, and we'll share the link with you all, guys. Okay, as even some international universities consider GRE score for MBA. Does
Right.
ISB consider the same for admission, Faisal?
Yes, so ISB only considers GRE and GMAT. So both these exams are considered and are considered at an equivalent level. So don't worry, even if you have a GRE score, it's similar to GMAT. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, so all the best for this. I have completed my degree computer and currently pursuing CA. How without trying CAT, as the exam has been completed and she wants to join this academic year.
For ISB, CAT is not required. What you need is GMAT or GRE and 2 years of full-time work experience. So even if you are working and do not have 2 years of work experience, you can apply under early entry option. Else you have to start working, get 2 years of work experience, and then apply. So depending on that particular case, things will change.
Okay. And Vimal, you have raised your hand. I would request you to please post your query in the Q&A tab. We are picking up the questions from Q&A tab itself. So guys, come on, post your queries and we'll be just taking them up. So till the time we are expecting more queries, more doubts from the students, I would just like you to cover up about the daily routine. How is your daily routine like? And
ISB, what ISB provides is, as I said, right, day starts at 7 a.m. mostly. You wake up, you go for breakfast, you go to class at 8 a.m. If it's a back-to-back class, you will be done by 12 noon. Afternoon, you can have lunch, come back, and then there are assignments and pre-reads for the next day to prepare for. So most of the day goes into that. And then if you're lucky, you sleep by 1 a.m. If you're not lucky, you sleep by 3 a.m. So it depends on the day. As for facilities, I think ISB is very unique in that matter because what we have is called room service. So if I am in my hostel room, the moment I have left it, there will be a bunch of professionals who come in, who make my bed, clean my room. So once I get back to my room after a long day of studying and assignments, I get a clean bed, clean room, and everything has been done for me. And apart from that, we have libraries, all kinds of sports facilities. So whatever you can expect from a global B school, we have it there.
okay, good enough. You are getting everything done when you just wake up. Okay, because in most of the colleges and hostels, this is not the thing that is happening.
Exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So we get clean bathrooms, clean rooms, and we have a night canteen that is up all night,
Okay,
and
great.
we have meal facilities which are open through a morning till late night.
Mm.
So what ISB does is it takes away the burden of being a student. So
Actually,
anything apart from studying
yeah,
is taken care by the college, and you're just supposed to focus on this one thing that you're there for, learning.
that's a positive point that you have shared. Because if they are taking care of every other thing, you are able to concentrate on your studies, as you said.
Exactly.
Right.
Like
So, yeah.
I was coming to laundry. I mean, I've heard from my IIM friends, it's a big problem. Even for laundry, we just need to drop our clothes down, like the same hostel building. We just need to drop it down, and they collect it from there, and they deliver it to us back again. So you have
Excellent.
nothing to worry about. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent service by ISB once again. So, okay, we'll just come up with the next query by Vimal. I'm a BSc graduate 2020. low CGPA 6, how to get ISB?
So low CGPA may or may not be a problem. What you should focus on is where are you working after you graduated? What have you contributed to that job? Is there something you are really passionate about and you have done great in that sense? What makes you a unique individual? What makes you good for ISP, right? So if you focus on those things, then you feel you have good points and you can really get into ISP. If not, then it'll be difficult even with a 9 CGPA.
Okay, now Chetan is actually confused and he's tense. He wanted to know, is there any social life at the campus?
Yes, it's very socially lively, and we have co-ed hostels. So basically, boys, girls, we all live on different floors in the same hostel, and we keep running into our friends, into our classmates all the time. The parties at ISB are very notorious for being, so we do work a lot, but we party harder. So like if you just walk into a random room, you'll find some people partying, and since you know most of the people on the campus, after the orientation week, you can actually, if you want to relax and unwind, you can just go join a party. So the social life is really great there.
It's there. Okay. So, and how about the ROI, basically, and what about the placement and career opportunities that are provided at ISB?
Right. So ROI is a very abused term. I think when we usually end up comparing IIMs and ISB, and since ISB, so this 37 lakh number I see going around a lot many places, and what people miss out is this 37 lakhs includes everything, right? There is not a single penny you need to spend over and above the 37 lakhs. So what would be the current IIM fees for 2 years? I think somewhere around 25, 28 lakhs, 25 lakhs, and plus your living expenses for 2 years, right? And there, this is where ISB comes into picture, where the opportunity cost of graduating in 1 year and starting earning in the second year makes the ROI really great. So the average CTC for the previous batch was somewhere around 35 lakhs. It will go slightly above this year. So all in all, since you start earning just after 1 year of ISB, so the entire second year that you would be spending at an IIM, you actually earn in the second year. So keeping that in mind, the ROI, if not better than IIMs, becomes equivalent to it. And in exchange, as I mentioned, you get a lot of other facilities. So the alumni network for ISB is huge when it comes to at least consulting and product management. And you pick up any top consulting firm, be it McKinsey, BCG, Bain, Accenture, Carney, A&M. Uh, I think the most number of people from any college in these firms is from ISB. So while you're at ISB, that is definitely helpful because they help you with interview preparation, CV preparation. So since my first week at ISB, every weekend some alumni flies down and helps out all of us. But even after you graduate, the kind of projects you want to work on, if you want to switch to another company, if you are facing problems in a new job, there are always alums to help you out. So the career opportunities after ISB becomes much more better because of this alum network.
Okay, that's a great thing that you have shared about the ROI. That's super because obviously the brand itself give you a great return on your potentials, whatever you are doing. So that's a superb thing. And what about the placement part, if you can cover here as well?
Right. So placement, unlike the IIMs, and I'm comparing it to IIMs because usually that's where people are confused. So placement at IIMs are run by students. So your own batchmates will be calling the companies and managing the processes. And if you read on Quora or any other places, you see there's a lot of bias and a lot of like people are left with the feeling that they were cheated or something went wrong. And at ISB, it is actually managed by a professional body. So the college itself takes care of calling the companies in, managing the interviews. So students have no part to play in it. There are no biases. So placements for us start, the whole process starts somewhere late September, where you're supposed to submit your CVs to the companies. And throughout September, October, and the starting of November, companies release their shortlist. You know what all companies you have to interview for. And then just like the IIMs, we have day 0, day 1. And depending on the shortlist that you have, you are lined up for interviews. And so in IIMs, the moment you get one job, you have to take it and move out. But at ISB, if you get 3 offers on day 0, then at the end of day 0, you can choose between one of them. So you're not pushed out of the process just because you have one offer. So that is again one unique thing that I only see at ISB, nowhere else. So that is how the whole placement thing works. And then you have the support of college. They will do a lot of learning and development sessions for you. They will do a lot of CV review sessions for you. They will do a lot of mock interviews for you, so that you are fully prepared for the final day.
Right, that's a great initiative once again to help out the students in the placement part and giving like more number of opportunities.
Right.
So I think how is your placement phase going on? I would like you
So
to share here itself.
right. So placement just got over for me. Day zero is over for us. Day one is going on. It's this weekend. I got placed on day zero. So that's why I'm comparatively free and talking to you guys. And the process was really like a roller coaster. Like it started September end, and then there were heartbreaks. So some companies you want to get into, they don't give you a shortlist. Some companies you really want to get into, they give you a shortlist. Your peers and your friends, some of them are happy, some of them are sad. But I think the support from everyone for everyone was really great. And since day zero is over, and a lot of us are placed, some of us are going to get placed in 2-3 days. I think all of us will get placed in the next 2-3 days. So in ISB, placements hardly go to day two. So last year, 80% batch got placed on day zero, and the remaining on day one. And we had this year we have around 370, 380 companies visiting us, and average number of offers per student turns out to be around 2.5 to 3. So I myself had 2 offers that I had to choose between. I can't take names because my offer letter is yet to come, but
It's
but yeah,
okay.
expect the average CTC to be around 34-35 lakhs again this year, or a little more than that, in fact.
Superb. So all the best for your future prospects,
Thanks a lot,
and
Kalika.
like congratulations once again for your job. So
Thank you.
I just wanted you to highlight something about the alumni. Shravani wants to know, what does alumni exactly mean, and can you say about the internships over here?
Right. So alumni here means people who have graduated from ISB and are working out there in the corporate world, or have started up, have their own businesses. Right. So, for instance, I am an alumni of NIT Nagpur, and I will become an alumni of ISB in the next 6 months. Secondly, about internships, since ISB is a 1-year program, you directly get placed. There are no internships. But what we have, something unique, is called ELP, Experiential Learning Program. Within experiential learning program, what happens is a lot of companies approach ISB with live projects of 3 months. And for those 3 months, you work on a live real case problem, solving it for a company. And you get to visit the company headquarters or different places depending on the company needs. But this is what comes closest to internship that we have. But since people are coming with 2 years of work experience, they usually do not need internships to understand what they want to get into. So we directly get placed.
Great, good enough. And have you taken any coaching also, Farzan?
Coaching, I took online coaching when I was preparing for ZAT. For GMAT, I did not take any coaching. I think I was well prepared for CAT and ZAT. So GMAT, I just had to tweak in a little bit. Uh, there's an online platform called CrackU. I was enrolled there. I took crash course from iQuanta, and that is it. I mean, I took it once, so I think I spent all in all around, I think, 7 or 8 thousand rupees on my coaching. That's it.
That's a very like a good suggestion also, that you are just giving it to the students about your coaching. I think they will get an idea, a fair idea about how to go for it. Okay. And are you satisfied with your college life or any regrets? Datta Sai Prasad wants to know.
I am fully satisfied. The only regret is it's going to end in the next 6 months. So I wish it went on longer.
Oh, exactly, because this life never comes back, and you will
Definitely.
definitely miss after like you are placed. So you will miss all your friends, all your faculties, whatever hard work you are giving here. That's also a kind of enjoyment, I think, that you are getting, and I know you will be missing that. And
Definitely. It's been one of the best 6 months of my life, and I've learned a lot. And
right,
really looking forward to the next half now.
you will definitely get through easily. Don't worry. What about ISB campus is best in terms of placements?
So placements are common for us. Things are online now, but when it was offline, so 1 year Hyderabad, people would fly down to Mohali, and the placement would happen at a common place. And the other year, Mohali people would fly down to Hyderabad and placement would happen there. So ISB does not discriminate at all in terms of which campus you are from, and the allocation of campus is also randomized. So nobody really knows which campus they will go to. So to make the experience through and through fair, even the placements are conducted together.
Okay, and is there any difference between the campuses over infrastructure, faculty, facilities, anything?
Facilities are the same. Infrastructure, definitely. I think Hyderabad campus is much bigger, but again, they have 3 times more students than we have at Mohali. So faculties, again, we have visiting faculties. So for instance, if a Kellogg professor comes here and teaches in term 2, then he will fly and teach there in term 3. So even the faculties are more or less the same. Infrastructure is the only difference that I can think of. Other than that, everything is exactly the same.
Okay, and how is the hostel infrastructure here itself in Mohali?
So at Mohali or even at Hyderabad, there are 2 types of hostels that you can opt for. One is a studio apartment and one is a quad. So when I say quad, a quad is basically a big 4 BHK where each room is allocated to one student, and you have a common living room with all amenities. So you have a microwave, a fridge, a gas stove, everything is taken care by ISB. So this is quad, right? So I live in a quad. I have 3 other people living with me, which we call quaddies. So quaddies are your friends that live with you. And in terms of studio apartment, this is mostly given to people who are either married or engaged, or you need not be engaged or married to get one, but it is more in demand. So they usually prefer people who have families who will come down and live with them. But 2 studios are like 1 BHKs and it is completely owned by one student.
Okay, and how about the fee structure for the hostel?
So it's included in the 37 lakhs. So if you go for a studio, I think you pay 80,000 extra for a year compared to a quad, but that is it.
Okay, I just got one more question over Shiksha platform by a student that is ISB PGP overhyped with the ever increasing batch size and the fee around 37 lakh. Like, is it worth going for? You have already answered something about this, but I would just like to elaborate.
Yeah, I will touch on it again. So let's talk about first the batch size. So the 800 batch size is across 2 campuses, Mohali and Hyderabad. So basically not 800 people are under one roof. And secondly, if you talk about colleges in the same league, that is IIM, ABC. So ABC combined, there are 1200 students, right? But has that ever impacted quality of IIMs? Not really, right? So I think number of students being 800 is not really a problem because so far ISB has been able to place them really well. And all 800 end up in companies and in roles they came in with the dream of getting into. So quality has not been impacted. And since it's across 2 campuses, it's not like classes are crowded. And second thing about the fees, I touched upon it, the whole ROI thing, that you graduate 1 year in advance. So whatever you make that year, just subtract that from your fees, and that is, and see if that is comparable to what you are paying at IIMs for 2 years.
Okay, yeah, that you already told. Okay, and which domain work experience needs? Like, which domain needs work experience?
So I think any domain is fine. ISB is very diverse, as I mentioned earlier in the webinar, that I have classmates who are from army background, navy background, or maybe from arts or commerce or economics. Some people have worked with the government, right? Some of them are consultants, some were software engineers. So there is no particular domain as such, as long as whatever you did really well. So no particular domain gets any advantage at ISB.
Okay, so all domain will work equal for
Right.
everyone. Okay.
Equally.
Yeah. So anonymous attendee, hello ma'am. She's Manpreet Kaur, assistant professor of IT department. Please tell me if you have a webinar related to IT stream. Yes, we will definitely have, and we keep on having these webinars. You can check on shiksha.com. We have trending webinars column over there itself, and we'll update you if you want. I'll share you my link, my email ID also at the end of this session. So please stay connected, and you can mark me a mail and I'll share you the link of the next webinar as well. Thanks. Okay, Datta Sai Prasad, can we expect any personal guidance from you? Sai Prasad, you can ask like whatever you want to ask here on this platform itself. It's not possible to share any personal details over here. since like it's a public platform. So I'm really sorry for that. But we can have this session again, or you can just refer whatever questions you have on. You can also post it on this college page ISB itself, and we'll take over that doubts. Don't worry.
Right. You guys can feel candid to post whatever you want to ask me. I mean, it's totally fine. I'll go on.
Exactly. And anonymous attendee has asked one more question. Should a person, guys, you just rename yourself. It's very like odd to say anonymous attendee. I'm not like aware whom am I speaking with. Should a person choose ISB or IIM ABC?
Depends on exactly where you are in life and what your future goal is, right? So even between IIM ABC, different IIM offers a different career path and different what would I say, growth opportunities. So if you are someone who wants to work for a year, for at least 2 years before your MBA and want to finish it quickly in 1 year, you feel that you after your graduation your job is really well, giving you good amount of money, and you would experiment a little working here and there and then do an MBA, then I think ISB makes the most sense. But you really want to just get out of your undergrad and start your MBA as soon as possible, and you have that kind of profile. When I say profile, in IIM sense a 10th, 12th, and undergraduate marks, and you can ace cat, and you want to start your MBA as soon as possible, then obviously IIM ABC is where you need to be. Even between ABC, I think Ahmedabad and Bangalore are great for consulting. Calcutta not so much, but Calcutta is the best, I think, college in India when it comes to finance. A and B not so much. So it varies a lot, but definitely, I mean, depending on who you are and where you are, ABC, ISB, all in the same league, and it totally depends from person to person. For me, ISB made more sense because I was in consulting already. I was doing great. I really wanted to experiment consulting before I did an MBA and decided where to finally go. So for me, ISB made sense, but for you, anything can make sense depending on who you are.
Yeah. And what about a loan for fee? Like, how did you manage for 37 lakh for an average person? How like a person gets loan or scholarship, something like that is there?
Right. I think I am below average and I still got a loan. So the moment you crack any top B score, right? I remember converting XLRI and then ISB. Your inbox will be filled with banks trying to give you a loan. So you will not even have to go out and search for where to find the loan. And the interest rates are so low. I think it's around 6.1%, 6.2%. So uh, in my case, they actually gave me a loan of 44 lakhs. So in case I wanted to go for an exchange, or I wanted to spend more money while studying here, banks have no worries because this ISB degree or that IIM degree that you have is worth a lot more. I mean, I've been talking to alums and they have told me that they end up paying back their whole fees, whole loan in less than 3 years on average. So that will not be a problem. I mean, don't worry about the fees. No matter which kind of background you belong to, fees will not be a problem. Just get there and things will be sorted.
Yeah, that's a great thing. What about the scholarships? Do ISB provide scholarships as well?
Yes. ISB provides all kinds of scholarship depending from merit scholarships where based on GMAT and your profile and how excellent you have been before ISB to need-based scholarship depending on your household income. There are various kind of scholarships which cover anything between your whole fees to a part of the fees. But there are bunch of there are plenty of opportunities there.
Okay, there are a few questions coming on regarding your proposed placements. What are your plans for the next 6 months?
Next 6 months. So now that I'm placed, it feels really amazing. I mean, I'm relieved. The last 3 months were very hectic. Next 6 months, I think this is the best time to learn even harder, right? I mean, first 6 months you have academics plus placements to worry about. Now it's just academics, and it's also the season when we get to choose our electives. So now I can pick up subjects that resonate with my future goals and my job. And apart from that, I will do what I've been doing all my life: play a lot of football, read a lot of books, and try to get out of ISB with the best CGPA that I can at this moment. Yeah.
Yes, you will definitely come out with flying colors and good memories that will just be there along your whole lifetime itself. So these are actually, you will feel nostalgic sometimes afterwards. So it's okay. That happens. That happened to me as well. Okay. And how are your curriculum and placements? But placements at ISB specific to prod man rule?
Prodman role. So I think it's the second highest number of people go to Prodman after consulting. So last year, I think 33% people of the whole batch went to consulting and 28% went to Prodman. So expect all the best Prodman roles to come your way. I also had shortlist from one of the best Prodman companies in India. So I expect your Google, Microsoft, Uber, all the cool tech companies to come and hire for Prodman roles. And the only difference from consulting in Prodman is they focus less on your CV, but more on the cases that you solve in the process. So they shortlist based on cases. So irrespective of what your background is, if you put in the work, if you understand how those cases are solved, and if you have the aptitude for product management, then definitely all doors open for you.
Okay, Pratul, I think you got your answer again, and many of you must also be waiting for the same thing. Chetan Shah is saying FMS over SPGN rating as compared to ISB. Any views?
uh, FMS and SPGen compared to ISB. So I think ISB provides a whole holistic experience. So FMS, you don't have a campus, infrastructure is not that great. It's definitely a very good college, and the ROI is mind blowing. I mean, you just pay a fees of 2 lakh rupees. Uh, that said, consulting placement is not that great. Product management placement is not that great compared to ISB. Obviously, they are great in itself, but compared to ISB, not that great. So it depends on where you want to be in life, right? If you want to grow in marketing, then FMS definitely, it's called the Mecca of marketing, and that's where you should be. But if you really want to get into McKinsey, BCG, Bain, or that kind of a firm, then ISB opens up a lot more doors. So last year, McKinsey, BCG, Bain combined took 150 people, right? And
From your campus only?
from Hyderabad, Mohali combined. So it
Asha
was
combined. Okay.
combined,
Okay.
yes. So they took 150 out of last year we had 750 students. So look at the ratio, right? These three companies taking your chances of
Most
getting
of
into
them.
these, right? Your chances of getting into these companies is much higher from ISB compared to FMS. Is all
Exactly.
else. Same
Exactly.
SPJMR, again a great private college. I think they are doing really great in terms of placements as well as curriculum. The only downside or maybe upside to SPJMR is that you need to choose your specialization long before you enter the college. So operations, finance, or marketing, you have to make up your mind and go inside. At FMS or ISB, you get to choose that much later in time. So you get to experience all subjects and then make up your mind as to where you want to major. So this is the only difference. But I think SPJMR is doing a great job.
All right. So Chetan, just take over suggestions and go forward. Any college, whichever is relevant for you. Datta Sai Prasad, he's saying congratulations, bro. All the best for your career, and thank you for the valuable information. So
Thank you. Thank you.
thanks, Sai, for coming over. Okay, Shravani wants to know, can you say something about your journey after your schooling? How was it, and at what age did you enter ISB?
Right. After school, so I gave JE once, couldn't make it to a good college, so I dropped out. I actually gave JE the second time. Got good ranks both in advanced, JE advanced and JE mains, but I was getting something called agriculture engineering at IIT Kharagpur. So I decided not to do that. Got chemical engineering at NIT Nagpur, went there instead. 4 years at NIT again were one of the most valuable years of my life. I did a lot of things. I was the president of the entrepreneurship cell. I started 3 4 businesses of my own, and I think that sort of led me away from engineering and more towards business. And I got placed at GEP Consulting. So I was working in strategy consulting right after my undergrad, and I think that is where I also met a lot of ISB alums and IIM alums, and soon realized that to grow into consulting, you actually need an MBA degree. So this is when I started preparing for various exams. So I was 24 years old when I got an admit from ISB and XLRI. I was only applying to IIM, ABC, L, XLRI, FMS, and ISB. So these were my 7 options because I really wanted to get into a top consulting firm and nothing else. So that was the plan, and I got I got 99.3 percentile in CAT. So with 99.3 being a general engineer male, you don't get IMABC calls or Lucknow calls. So but I ended up topping that, as I mentioned at the start of the webinar. So got XLRI, got ISB, chose to go for ISB because of consulting placement at ISB, and I started my ISB when I was 25 years of age. which I am currently. So I think, yeah, not that old yet.
It was worth whatever you did. You just think about it before going, and the options that were fitting like for you, you just opted for that,
Right.
and that
Right.
like
I got lucky. I think I got lucky that way, that I had multiple options to choose between, and both of them were great options.
yeah, XLRI was also a good option, and ISB.
Right.
So that's a good decision that you took, and you are here with us. Okay, so Paul will just take over next question by Paurush Arora. Till the time I'm just taking up your question, Paurush, I would like you all to please fill the poll. I have launched the poll here itself, and on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 means that you are highly satisfied. So please go ahead and give the ratings quickly for this session that is ongoing. Okay, so Paurush Arora, he's saying that he's done MTech from IITD,
Okay.
Optoelectronic and Communication in 2017, presently working in Indian Army. What exam shall he give, GRE or GMAT? I think both will work. And what is the minimum GMAT and GRE score required? Apart from that, do you have foreign assignments also in 1 year? And tell about your experience with people from Army, Navy, IAF doing this course.
Definitely. So I'll start with GRE, GMAT. I think both are equivalent, no difference. But if you do not have plans for an MS, then I'd suggest GMAT is a little easier to crack compared to GRE. And as for scores, there is no minimum cutoff or a maximum that you require to get in. But I think I remember GMAT average, and you can find GRE while Googling. So for my batch, it was 720 in GMAT, the average score. So you can place yourself on that spectrum. So try to get a 700 plus score for sure if you want a good chance at ISB. But that said, a 660 or 670 won't really make it a no-go, because ISB looks at a lot of things, as I mentioned. So a higher GMAT makes it easier, but a lower GMAT does not make it impossible. Foreign assignments in 1 year. So uh, uh, I don't understand what exactly foreign assignments mean, but we do have student exchange. So ISB has a wide network, including LBS and Kellogg, which are founding schools. But apart from that, I think there are 50 to 60 foreign colleges that come in the network, and you can bid for these student exchanges, and you can go there and study for a term or 2 terms, depending on what the college offers. Apart from that, there are foreign placements too. So even this year, there were around 10, 12 companies that came with foreign roles, mostly Dubai, Singapore, Hong Kong, UAE, your Qatar, Bahrain type roles. US, Europe, not so much, because you know the visa constraints and restrictions that are there. But even then, I think one company came for a role where you work 1 year in India, and second year they send you to Germany permanently. So these kind of roles are also open. Experience with people from Army, Navy, IF. I mean, definitely they are the most disciplined bunch of people. You will, even on the toughest of days, you will see them playing lawn tennis or basketball for an hour or two. So experience with them has been great. I think one of them was a colonel. So he is living on campus with his wife and child. He is 10, 15 years older than me. Yet we talk to each other in on a first name basis. And there's a lot. And when it comes to operations and those related subjects, I think these people are really great at it, because they have done it and studied it at a very practical level compared to all of us. So there's learning both ways, right? I can give him some information as to how a corporate life feels, and he tells me how his army life felt.
That's a great platform which ISB is providing. You are exchanging your ideas and you are getting the advice from the expert as well. And at the same platform, everyone is equivalent. So that's actually a hats off thing. I really appreciate it. And I was not aware that Army Navy people can also join it and they can easily go ahead, stay with their family. And that's a great thing you have shared here on this platform. And obviously, I also believe that you also must be getting some of the information that was not aware to you or
Definitely.
that you just wanted to seek for, right?
Right.
Okay. Parish is saying thank you so much to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Paresh.
Thanks, Parish. And Sravani wants to know what about any of your CA friends in ISB?
Plenty of them. I think there are plenty of CAs in ISB, and in terms of placements, they're doing really great. I think for CAs, for us engineers, the toughest subjects are accounting and related subjects, finance subjects, but CAs seem to ace that. So whenever I have a finance course, I really rush to my CA friends and they help me out. So, I mean, your background will hardly matter a lot once you're in ISB, whether you are a CA or engineer or coming from a marketing or operations background. But yes, do have a lot of CA friends, and I think after engineers, most number of people in ISB are CAs.
Okay. And are they also comfortable there itself, like with all the procedures and like coming from a different background, all the people are like, are they facing any difficulties? Or
So difficulties are unique to people from different backgrounds. So my difficulty is different than their difficulty. But the best part is no matter where you are stuck, there will be some person who's an expert in it in the batch itself. So you can go out, talk to them, and they help you out. I mean, it's a very open social community, and all of us help each other out all the time. So our difficulties are never a problem. It won't stay there for long. And then college also ensures that uh, before every course there are periods that actually help you understand the subject in the easiest way possible, and then the professors are also very helpful, so you can book time with them after classes and go and discuss your doubts and problems. So not
okay.
really big a deal there. Yes.
And any weightage is specifically given for the work experience, like for the working people, and what's the criteria considered in ISB?
So everyone at ISB has 2 years of work experience, right? So no special weightage to work experience, but obviously if you come from a particular brand or a particular job, they might prefer you more than the others. So if you have nothing outstanding about you, at least your job and your role should be outstanding. So coming from McKinsey or Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan might help a little more than coming from, but then again, right, even if you're coming from a startup that you are a part of and that grew and did really well, then you will be again considered equivalent to someone coming from McKinsey or Microsoft. So no such weightage there apart from the job that you have done,
Great.
quality of
Uh,
job.
okay. Shravani is saying thank you so much for answering all the questions with patience.
You're welcome, and thank you for listening with patience and asking the questions. Always happy to help.
Yeah, that's true. And I just wanted to take over this question. What are some tips for an academically average student in excelling the rigorous coursework of ISB PGP?
I think what ISB does is it levels the playing field, right? So once you are in the college, if like your past, that will not matter that much. If you're academically average, then you have to sort of put in the extra hours compared to other people. That's the only downside. So we have some IITians who get really good grades by putting lesser number of hours, but then there are people who were not that great academically before ISB, but they're still acing the course by putting in just more number of hours, right? So to excel, just be open to new people and new ideas. Wherever you are stuck, don't be afraid to go and ask the professor or your fellow classmates, right? And whatever is assigned to you in terms of assignment, in terms of periods, just do that honestly. So honesty towards yourself is more than enough to manage ISB curriculum.
Okay.
Everything else the college has designed in such a way that you don't really have to go out of your way to do anything.
That's a great tip being shared. And obviously, honesty should be there everywhere. Just to check on your caliber as well. Apart from the honesty part, that is definitely there in all the fields. Maybe if you are a student, if you are working, you should be honest towards whatever you are doing. That will only result you good. So guys, I've shared you some of the important links in the chat, and I've shared my email ID as well if you want to get connected with me, if you want to get any updates, if you want to get the YouTube link also, just mark a mail to me. We'll just I'll update you about the further things, and you can refer to the college page links I have shared you of ISB Hyderabad and ISB Mohali, wherein you will get all the information if anything is just left out in this session. Anything would you like to just end up with, any last minute tip to all the aspirants who have joined here from
Right.
first?
So it will be a very generic tip. And what I'll say is ki I understand a lot of you must be going through a lot, giving exams, and there's a lot of anxiety and a lot of uncertainty around things. But trust me, all the dots connect backwards. So once you're ahead in time, I mean, 1 or 2 years back, I wouldn't be imagining myself hosting webinars or talking to people, and the amount of people I've talked to about these preparations in the last 1 year. But just take away this one thing from me, that as long as you're honest to your own journey, right, put in the hard work, don't worry too much about the final result, and someday all the dots will connect and you will be where you want to be, irrespective of the college you go to or the grades or the scores that you get.
Right, that's a superb tip again. And that answers more or less all the questions that were like being asked here on this platform, guys. So I just have one more question by Bharat: how to decide ISB Hyderabad or Mohali, pros and cons. Bharat, he has already shared like the campus is almost the same. Everything is like similar in both the campuses, and they are going to decide upon which campus they are going to give it to you.
Right,
So
and even that is randomized, Bharat. So basically, it's not like if you are a good student, you go to a particular campus, and a bad one goes to a particular campus. What they want to ensure is that both campuses have similar kind of people. So if they have admitted two people with the same kind of work experience, one will be sent to Hyderabad and one will be sent to Mohali based on a lottery, right? So, and your experience will not vary at all, apart from the campus size, which for some people, so some people would rather be in a smaller campus with less number of people and get to know everyone, and some would prefer a bigger campus with more people, right? So the pros and cons vary accordingly. But apart from that, placements, academics, and infrastructure, nothing is different. Whatever you have at Hyderabad, you have at Mohali.
yes. Okay. So I think this ends up with the session. Thanks a lot, Farzan, for taking this wonderful session. And thank you so much for coming and delivering such a useful and engaging session. You have actually cleared all the queries perfectly, what I believe. That's about it. So I just want to thanks once again to you.
And thank you, Kanika, for having me here and giving me this platform. And I
Thank
hope
you.
everyone got something out of it. Thanks
Yeah,
so much.
definitely. Definitely. It was an informative session. So thank you so much, guys. And that's about it. We hope to see you in the next session. Thank you so much. Bye bye. All the best.